Getting your heart broken by a man is one thing, but getting your heart broken by a woman is enough to make you go play in 5 o'clock traffic on I-95.
I ain't got a clue, bro.
Bless up, bless up.
When it comes to WLW relationships, there were so many things I had to find out the hard way. And I kind of wish I had someone to kind of guide me into those things. As a late bloomer, I was, and even in fact still am, late to a lot of things when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community. Yeah, I think that's it. I feel like it would have saved me a lot of heartbreak. I'm ready to tell my story. Okay, so first of all, we'll start the story. I met this amazing woman. And when we first started communicating, it was a hit or miss because I'm like the worst texter in the world. I need to go to a texting class. I just don't really like texting. If you're banking on getting to know me, whether it's a friendship or even, when I was dating, it's like, the texting was trash for me, but I was so much better in person. So our communication was always like a hit or miss. And at the time, I was in Atlanta and she was in Florida. So we always would just like miss each other because when she was in Atlanta, I was gone for work. And when I was in Atlanta, she went back home to Florida. So what started us actually getting a steady connection was that one day I was in my hotel room and after like literally ghosting her like twice, I FaceTimed her. And I think it was so shocking because it was our first time FaceTiming. She was looking like, I'm looking like. And I was just talking to her, whatever. And I could see that she was just so shocked to hear from me. Now I know she probably felt some type of way like,
She just called me on FaceTime after she just stopped replying to my messages.
but it was the way that she was low-key egging me that made me feel like, now I'm about to chase you. Now I'm a Leo. My birthday's August 5th. And Leos, we are not used to like rejection. That's just not even our vocabulary. We're used to getting what we want. We're used to all of the attention being on us. So when she was low-key like, I was like, oh no, baby. We're not gonna do that. So fast forward, I started being more consistent. And then a connection started to brew. And then we just started hanging out. We became inseparable. It was to the point that when I would always be home, I wouldn't even go home. I would literally just get from the airport and go straight to her house. I remember when I was exploring my sexuality, I would always say I would never like be attracted to like studs or masculine women. It just wasn't my thing. Boy, did I lie. I was so used to dating femmes that dating a stud was just so new for me. I also had preconceived notions about studs, things that I heard like they're just as worse as guys, they're horrible. Then you have studs that are like touch me not, so it makes it even harder to date them. And I was just like, but something in me was just like, no, like get to know her. Initially, I just looked at her as a friend, but the more we spent time together, the more I got to know her as a person. I was really smitten, and I felt like I was just going back and forth with myself like, should I not? And I just kept going with it was just so different. And then one day I just woke up and I just consciously made a decision that I'm gonna do this. I'm going to do this. I don't know if it was like lust or obsession, but the feelings that she gave me, I swear I was like in love with her. I love the fact that she always invited me to so many events and included me in a lot of stuff. Once we stopped talking, she started disinviting me to places. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna disinvite you to places. So we just started canceling on each other. And at that moment, I just felt like with men, I never would have cared that much. But with her, I was just like, why are you doing this to me? Just stop. I started to find myself borderline begging, ooh, begging for her to communicate with me, to talk to me, to tell me what was wrong and how to fix it. And I just felt like it was a lot of broken promises on, oh, let's have a conversation in person. But for me, I don't believe in closure, and I don't believe in closure in person, because I feel like closure in person is just a one-way ticket to Pound Town. So for me, I just wasn't going to do that. And I just felt like I started to really, like, God honest, lose myself. During that time where we were fading away, it started to turn really dark for me. And I was just so shocked, because I was just like, wow. I feel like she low-key started to, like, ghost me. Why? I really don't know. But at first I just shrugged it off like, wow. But it was just like, I really, really wanted her. And all the nonchalantness started to turn into like heartbreak. I was really going through it. And I knew I was going through it, because normally, like, I would just shrug it off and move on. But I kept wanting answers from her, and it hurt me so bad, y'all. Look, sis had me crying. I was really, really hurt. And I mean, boo-hoo crying in the car, crying in the bed, crying on the phone, crying, going to my friends, crying this big, blah, blah. The friends I was confiding into were not the friends that were part of the community. And they were just like,
Is you really crying over some fingers and a tongue? Is you really crying over fingers? Is you really
doing that? But I was like, I'm hurting. Baby, it was hard for me to eat and sleep. And honestly, I don't think she truly knew that I genuinely was in love with her. Now, don't get me wrong. For the sake of the time of this video, there were other factors that I know contributed to us going our separate ways. All of that could have been avoided, and I am smart enough to know the part that I played in the situation. And I feel like, you know, if I had someone that was heavy in the community that could truly guide me and warn me about certain things, I think it would have helped me a lot. Here's what I wish I knew. There are so much stereotypes and prejudiceness and even discrimination within the LGBT community. And it's so crazy, because you would think a community that's used to people discriminating against them, being prejudiced, and, you know, you would think that they would be like, okay, well, we're used to that on the outside, but with our community, we're gonna stick together. Baby, no. I learned very quickly that the community is very non-tolerant of the B part of the community. When I knew that I was truly attracted to women, not just on like a romantic level, but on a level like I could truly be with one, marry one, start up my life with one, I, at first, when I was dating, would disclose that to guys, but guys looked at it in a sense of,
ooh, we can have a nice threesome?
and I was just like, no, that's not, no, stop, please. And I'm just like, where do I really fit in? Because the men are like, oh, okay, you think we could do a little rah, or whatever. Well, how'd you feel about having a threesome? What about poly? But then when I go to the community and I disclose that, like, hey, it's me, they're like, no. And they do that because they're thinking like, ooh, you're gonna leave me for a man. You really are not like that. You are fake. You're not a gold star, which I think is so stupid. And when I realized that, I felt so out of place, because I'm like, wow, where do I really belong? Because I'm doing the right thing by disclosing it, but then I go to my community and they're just like, and it just got pretty annoying. And people would make jokes and say like, oh, she's not, you know, she's not bi, she's straight, and it's just like, whatever. All the time I have this privilege that I discovered where I can easily maneuver through life because I am extremely feminine. I'm a woman. You can tell I'm a woman. And no one can look at me and tell that, oh, she likes men, but she likes women too. And a lot of times when I disclose that, especially to other women, They're very like shocked, like, you're a part, what? They're very shocked. And I am appreciative of that privilege, but it's kind of hard because if you are interested in a woman, how can she really know unless you approach her? And a lot of times women don't be approaching other women unless they're drunk. Another thing that I wish someone would have told me was that it's okay if I don't understand a lot of things within the community. When it comes to the LGBT plus Q plus C, when it comes to their community, it's always ever changing and you have to be so politically correct. And I find myself being so like careful because it's just like, hey, you know, I'm new. I just got here. And I don't know everything and I don't want to offend people, and I realize there's some things you can say, some things you can't say. And I used to struggle with that all the time because I never wanted to offend somebody, but it was driving me crazy. Like to this day, I still don't understand what's the beef between women, mainly women of color, and trans women, because it always seems to be some type of riffraff. I still don't understand binary and non-binary, and I also don't like to be called cis anything. I'm a woman. I'm not a cis woman. I'm not cis hetero and all that. I am just a woman. And still, as I'm getting to know myself and also getting to know the community, I realize that some of my theories and ideologies in my head till this day can come off as homophobic when it comes to certain aspects of the community, like, you know, trans women, for example. Another thing I wish I knew and understood a lot was that studs are masculine presenting women. At the core of them, they are still women and they love to be treated like princesses and queens. They still love that. They still enjoy being pampered, massages, manicure, pedicure, flowers, dates, romantic stuff. They still appreciate that. The only thing when it comes to like studs or masculine presenting women is just their style and maybe sometimes like the way they think about things. But at the core of them, baby, you might see them and you might think, oh, she dressed like a tomboy. She got like hat, t-shirt, jeans, like dressing like a guy. But baby, when them clothes come off, it's nothing but woman there. And in the most intimate settings, you can still see a woman. And I think that's what I love most about them, is that it's such a balance. I felt like with the amazing woman that I discussed earlier was that I felt like on my part, remember I said that there were some things that I know that I played a part in. I wish that I appreciated more of her feminine side. I was so attracted to her masculine side, but I loved the feminine side of her because it was a balance. But I wish I catered more to her feminine side to show her that she was appreciated. So I will take that. Another thing that I wish I knew about WLW lifestyle before getting into it was that a lot of women you meet are going to be so hung up on their ex, and it's annoying. And I don't even need to go deep into depth about that because it seems like it's just so common. Now, I have another long list of things that I wish someone from the community would have put me on game about. But if you're interested in that, comment part 2 and I'll be more than happy to explain it. If you have some words of encouragement or whatever, I'm good. And baby, if you're watching this video, no, I'm just kidding, but it was a lesson learned. It was great because it opened my eyes to a lot of things and it made me a better person. And I'm very appreciative for that. That's all I have right now, you guys. I'm about to go get ready to film this next video for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.